What is up, YouTube world? I am Ashley D. Before we get started, why don't you go ahead and do your girl a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. And if you feel like sharing it, please feel free to do so. So, before we get started, I would like to say a few things. Since you haters are so worried about me getting paid and what I'm doing, and it seems to me you like the cause. You like the reasoning behind what I'm doing. So just for you, I'm going to leave my Cash App down below. And if you feel like you want to do something nice, on the low, why don't you go ahead and do something in the Cash App? You know you like what I'm saying. You know I'm speaking nothing but facts. But anyways, I don't get paid for this. One day, will I get paid for this? Absolutely. Am I doing it for a good cause? Yes. Is my motive and my reasoning behind it for a good reason? Of course. To bring awareness to our community and situations like this and so many more things that go on. So my cause is bigger than the little money that you think is behind this. Eventually, it will grow into something. And yes, I would like to make a career out of this, doing it full time. And one day I will. I will be able to get on live for hours and make a difference. Because that's what this is all about to me. Making a difference and bringing awareness to certain situations. And just so happen, Lieonya is the topic of discussion. As well as these kids that are being dragged into this situation. And the reasoning and the cause behind this whole thing was one person with a false accusation that not only tore up a family that had structure, unity, that could have went to therapy, counseling, but it's kids' lives behind this that are changed forever. But you guys don't seem to understand that. None of you haters, none of you people that come on my page or go on Mr. Robert page and antagonize him day out and day in and day out. And you wonder why I keep putting out my content. Well, the day you guys stop going under his page, leaving comments, constantly flooding his page, speaking on him, talking about him, discussing his private life, will be the day I stop putting out my content. When y'all miss Princess Lieonya, stop putting out stuff every day for somebody to have a reasoning behind saying it and be a mother, not a YouTube mom, but a real mom, then we won't have a reason behind what we're doing. Everything I do is for the better and the good. And most importantly, it's the reason behind it, which is the kids. So, we're going to go ahead and get right all up into it. First of all, we don't even have to stop. So, when I was looking through a couple of my videos, it popped up the beginning of what took place between Miss Lieonya and Mr. Robert. And I remember I clicked on it and I could remember her crying in that moment. And I felt bad for her. And so this time when I clicked on it, I was like, oh my gosh, this lady had me fooled. I was a fool for taking these crocodile tears serious. So she's crying, forcing tears out, and then wiping her eyes, okay? You could go back through and look at it. She has her hair pulled up. She have like this white coat thing on, white robe kind of looking thing. When she's crying, holding her daughter or something like that. But she's crying. She finally squeezed a tear out. She's blotting her eye. And instead of wiping a tear from her face, I got it in a thumbnail, you guys. She allowed that one tear to roll down and keep it on her face. Anybody that's crying, they're going to feel uncomfortable about the tear rolling down their face. Who wipes their eye and possibly mess up your eyeliner, mascara, whatever, but allow the tear to roll? And you see her little makeup imprint getting wet because of the fake tear that's rolling down, and she finally pushed out and she wants everyone to see. So as she begins to cry, she talk about how much she loved her stepdaughter. How she doesn't want that to mess up their relationship, and she means so much to her. And all I could think about is, you have a daughter. You have two daughters. You have an older daughter who throughout this whole situation has been completely neglected. Not only she plays a big role in your baby girl's life, and let me go ahead on and say allegedly. Everything I am stating is allegedly. It's not a guaranteed fact. This is my own personal opinion and observation. So with that being said, let me continue. You express how much you love your stepdaughter, but yet you don't put that same care and love into your other daughter. You have two daughters. You have your younger baby girl who you use as a pawn to upset her father and piss him off any chance you get, allowing another man to carry him over the shoulders when he asked you, could this man possibly get a background check, and you try to use it as though he was trying to check on you. And it has something to do with him insecure about you and what you have going on. When he has a daughter walking across the screen with no shirt on, with just a pamper while this stranger is in the house going live. Absolutely. He did the right thing. And not to mention, you had his oldest daughter on vacation with your bae vacation that you called allegedly a girl's vacation. You can't make this stuff up. So anyhow, you even, and on that video as well, when everybody's saying vacation, once again, your youngest baby girl is sitting next to your oldest daughter so she can feed her. So we got to ask ourselves this question. For one, who was recording? And for two, who was sitting next to you on the other side? You were sitting next to your stepdaughter on one side, and the other side was completely empty. Let me guess. It probably was the person behind the camera who had the phone who was recording you guys, right? Yeah, so it probably clearly was Mr. Wu-Tang, allegedly. Yeah, it probably was, because you won't have any reason behind your daughter not sitting next to you. Well, we already know you don't feed her. You don't like to be a mom, only on camera, which you, on that video, was crying, saying you don't want him to use your daughter as a pawn. He only use your daughter when he want to post videos. And what are you using your daughter for? That's the only kid now that you're praising and you're worshiping, exactly, except for his other daughter. Except for his other daughter. You are using both of his kids as pawns. You're using his older daughter and their relationship that was a little rocky, wasn't the best. And instead of you being a good stepmom, interfering in a positive way, helping relate to your husband how his daughter feels, because she could possibly feel left out now that he has a new family and he's created another daughter with other kids that are close in age with her, and she doesn't get to spend that much time with them. Instead of you playing the mediator and helping their relationship, and you communicate that to her father so they can spend time alone, what do? You divide them even more. You do the worst thing any person could possibly ever do. Came between a father and their daughter. A father and their daughter. And the sad part is the mother is just as ignorant, and there's no allegedly to that. She allows you to do it. You might as well say she sold us all for a couple of $100, and it probably wasn't even that. You probably only gave her $100 on the Cash App, and she allowed you to have your way. Do as you please. That's why so many young girls are walking around here screwed up, hurt, and broken, and relationships with men aren't right. Because they're looking for father figures in their relationship, because it's sorry mothers like you, Lieonya. Sorry mothers like you that take their fathers out of their lives because you're bitter, you're angry, and you're upset, and you don't know how to be a woman. You don't know how to put aside what you feel and how you feel to allow these kids to have a relationship with their father. And that's sad. And the crazy part is you buying Mr. Wu-Tang lavish gifts. I think about my son and how expensive the shoes are that he likes. And your kids are not too far in age with my son. Those shoes you bought Mr. Wu-Tang allegedly bought Mr. Wu-Tang, that he wore with everything. That was in my last thumbnail with the all black on, with the red and white shoes. Those shoes cost $500. $500. When you allegedly grabbed him a pair, did you get your sons a pair of those shoes as well? Those are the shoes that are up in price that all the kids know about. Some of them don't ask their parents about it because they know their parents will say no or they can't afford them. Some kids, even though they know their parents probably can't afford them, they still gonna ask them for them, like my son. And they know that their parent is going to make a way because that's the type of stuff they like. And they're a good kid, they deserve that type of stuff. You brag about how much you make. You brag about what you bring in annually, monthly, everything. And you compare it to your ex-husband, or your husband's. But all that you make, it shows in the way you dress and the way you carry yourself and the gift giver that you are. Aren't you tired of being the gift giver? When are you ever going to be the receiver? When are you going to ever let your investment pay off and you get back something out of that besides just a simple smile or a pat on the back or enjoyment for the moment of what's going on, and then that feeling is over with? Because back to reality, you can't buy love, Miss Lieonya. You can't. When it's bought, it's not genuine, it's not real, and it does not flow. And the sad thing is, did you even ask your kids after you went through this whole separation, going through in the middle of a divorce? Did you ask your kids how did they feel about being on camera? These kids at a very young age have been on camera for a very long time now. Don't you think they're tired? Or they could possibly need a break? Since you allegedly claim you were a DV victim, are we going to see you and these kids go to therapy? Are we going to see that part of your show? Are they even going to therapy outside of the camera? Put aside the fact that you claim that they were DV. That should be more of a reason than anything they go. But they still should go, sweetheart. This man was a part of these children's lives for 6 years at the most impressionable age of their lives, and he's no longer there now. And now they're left to fend for themselves and figure everything out on their own because you say come to you as a mother. But we all know how that works out. When people come to you and say how they truly feel or they don't agree with you, you cut them off. You hang them up to dry. You tarnish their names and so on. They know what you're capable of when people don't agree with you or when mommy gets upset. So they'd rather just go along and pretend everything's okay. And you may not can see that, but guess what? Real parents out there see that. It shows on their face. We know what they're feeling without them even saying it. Because we're a real parent. And we can look and tell these kids are hurting. These kids aren't truly expressing what they feel. If that was the case, you should have took some time away and allowed these kids to heal, even just on the strength of you're going through a public battle and divorce that's online, that's being dragged out. Let your kids get a break off the camera for a while so they can actually be kids and enjoy that moment. But no, you rather just shove a camera in their face and they have to go along with whatever it is you decide. And the sad part is, even during special moments with the kids, you have to prop the camera, read the comments. You don't even allow things to just flow. You can even put the camera up there and you just be in the moment with your kid for all that. Just don't read the comments. Just continue doing what you're doing. But you can't do that. You want to prove to us that you're such a great mom, and what you fail to realize, it makes us look at you like even worse. You're not the best of mom because you wouldn't do that. Every special, precious, valuable moment with your kids does not have to be caught on camera. And they're not that many. So we can only imagine in real life what the moments are really. Because the little ones that you're sharing with us, they're not so precious. Even on Valentine's Day, Your son comes up to you, you're reading the cards. Let's be real. Allegedly, we'll say that. Let's be real. You claim that your kids wrote these things. There's no way your kids would have used these big words. You can't even spell those words, let alone your kids write them. And then you turn around and you act like they decided to buy this fancy perfume for you. That's the sad part, Lieonya. Everything is so rehearsed in your life. You don't allow your kids to just be natural, do things naturally. At that age, my son or his father or his grandparents, whoever it was at that time on Mother's Day, they would take him to the store. They will allow him to pick out whatever it was for me. My favorite color as well was pink. So my son would grab me a pink blouse. It wasn't the cutest blouse, but he saw pink. So he grabbed it. He thought I would love it, which I did because it came from the heart. He grabbed me a card that said, Happy Mother's Day. It didn't have all these fancy words in there, fancy writing. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you to the moon and back. And a teddy bear. That's it. And that meant the world to him to be able to give me that because it came from the heart, Lieonya. And it wasn't expensive. It wasn't fancy. When you do stuff like that, it doesn't mean anything to the kids. You take away from their moments, allowing them to be kids. Allowing them to even express genuinely how they feel for you. Because you're coordinating. You're controlling every aspect of everything. Even the special moments like that, you drop the ball on and you miss. And it may not be a big deal to you, but in due time, it will mean something to them. That's a moment they will look back over in time and say, wow, not only on Mother's Day, my mom didn't even allow us to go in the store and pick it out. She had someone else pick it out. She picked it out. Then pretended it was from us. And then your oldest son tries to hug you. And then you was hugging on your youngest daughter and he tried to hug you a little longer. And you didn't even catch that. You pulled away when he was trying to lay his hand on you. That hurt me. That broke my heart. You don't even know how to give a hug with affection. Even long enough to know and realize when your kid really needed the most. You never just walk up to them and grab them and hug on them. Rub their head. They lay on your lap. Have any of those type of moments. Because when it comes to your kids, you're not that type of person. You look at your kids and you use them as some type of accessory or some type of toy. You play with them. You use them as pawns for TV, for pictures, for prompts, whatever it is you need them for in that moment. And then when you're done with them, you put them back on the shelf like they're a toy, and then you'll pick them back up to play with them when you need them again. That's not what being a parent is. But that's what being a parent is to you. You're always half doing something. That's the sad part about everything. Excuse me as well if I take a second because I'm making sure I cover everything. And then another crazy thing, we didn't see you call home when you were out of town. I don't even think we're going to see you do that. You could call the kids' phone. You could call someone to see how they're doing. And now since I'm saying it, hopefully you might start doing it. Or better yet, you might edit a scene real quick and put that part in there where you're calling home to check on your kids. You might not know that, Lieonya, but that's what real parents do. Even when they're with someone they trust. They call to check on their kids. They call to see if their homework's done. They call to see what they ate. They call to see how their day was. Sometimes they even call to read them a story online or say their prayers with them or tuck them in or say goodnight. That's what real parents do when they're away from their kids. No matter how old your kids are, they're never too old enough to get that love from their parents, that affection, that guidance. That's what they need. After all, you have ripped them from the only world they know. You have tore their life apart into a freaking zoo that's analyzed and broke up in bits and pieces on YouTube. And you don't think these kids deserve even more love, attention, and affection from you? And the saddest thing to me was when you were out of town and you were speaking with your manager, whoever she was to you. I don't even remember because that wasn't even important. All she was doing was saying things in a circle and in a nutshell, like I stated in the last video, told you you're going to be hustling backwards, basically. You have 3 million followers, but yet you're going to have to go on YouTube to promote yourself. Your show's not doing that well, and you're going to have to start all over again. You're going to have to charge your fans who didn't fill seats, who didn't show up for your premiere, who didn't show up for your meet and greet, who probably not bought all your skincare line like you claim is sold out, but you're not promoting that anymore. You're going to have to convince those fans to pay for you now on YouTube. I mean on Facebook. Good luck with that. Anyhow, when she said you were going to be out of town more and she expected that from you, all I could think about is, wow, how much more can this lady be out of town? And the sad part is, if she wasn't such an ignorant, hell-bent, jealous, manipulative mother, selfish, these kids would be able to, while she was out of town, go with Mr. Robert. Go over his house for a couple days. He's 10 minutes away. Or they would be able to take the kids to Chuck E. Cheese or co-parent from time to time because they know it's not easy on these kids, this transition. This is the only stable father figure that these young boys had in their life that they was looking up to, that they was looking at to see how to be a man, that they were looking at for guidance. Because clearly no one in your home has guidance or structure. Mr. Janelle is a kid himself. They were looking to this man on how to be a man. And the one thing that they needed the most, at the time they needed it the most, you took that from them. You took a father figure away from these young men. How selfish, evil can you be? They will be able to go over there and spend a night, co-parent with you, still have that relationship with him. Because you will put aside what you felt. And at the end of the day, you will allow your kids to continue on that relationship, because a real mother knows how important it is for a boy to have his father in his life. A real mother knows that. But instead, you rather try to strip this man of everything, including his own children, his own daughters, his own DNA. You rather take his own daughters from him. But the crazy thing is, you allow your daughter, you online asking him on the audio, the phone call that he recorded, when is he coming to see his daughter? Make it make sense, Lieonya. 1 second you're saying he don't want to come get his daughter, which I don't blame him. Go through the course, Mr. LaTruth. We saw her allegedly at a gun range. She not in her right mind. Do not go over there on her property. You see she lie about you have a gun. Do not go over there. Wait till it's ordered by the court. You set up a date and let somebody be a mediator to drop her off and you pick her up. But someone always there. It's cameras around and witnesses. Do not go over there. You're doing the right thing. I know you miss your daughter, but just go through the court, sir. She wants you to come see your daughter that she has with you. But she wants to interfere and mess up this man's relationship with his oldest daughter. Make that make sense, you guys? If he was such a bad guy, DV'd her, allegedly, and was so wrong and only putting a daughter on camera for views. Why do you want your child to see her dad and she's still young? It don't matter really right now. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. It's going to start really mattering in a couple of years when she starts school. But you want to take away the relationship with his oldest daughter. You know why? You couldn't control him. He finally got fed up. He finally decided to walk away. So the one thing that you can control, that you have somewhat control over, because her mom is ignorant. It's the relationship with him and his daughter. You played on that. You wanted that man to hurt just like you were hurting. So you tried to take his prized possession away from him. You tried to convince everyone that he's only putting a daughter on the camera just for likes and views. When do you put the daughter on camera? For likes and views. Or better yet, you only put the daughter on camera when she is on there to piss Mr. LaTruth off. You only put her on there when Mr. allegedly Janelle was carrying her over his shoulders. And you thought that was so cute. He wasn't tickling her. He was just carrying her. And you thought that was such a cute moment. No, you thought it was a moment that you could use eventually to piss Robert off. Or the other time when you was talking to him and the daughter was around and he asked her, what do mommy want? And you kissed her in front of her. What was that about? Oh yeah, you were on camera again that time. We could go on. There's so many other different times when you allegedly was around Mr. LaTruth, Mr. Wu-Tang, and your daughter was on camera, his daughter. But you want to say he's using his daughter for clicks and views? What are you using his daughter for? A pawn. To angry him, to upset him, to hurt him. Because you know that's the only way you could piss him off right now. Because everything extra that you're doing from this point forward, that man don't care about it. That man is over. He been checked out of that marriage a long time ago. So you want to hit him where it hurts. And that's messing with his children. That's allowing another man to interact with his daughters that he has no control over. Everything that you doing, all these bad seeds that you putting out, you're going to sow them. They're going to come back and they're going to sprout up. And they're not going to be healthy seeds. They're going to die back down. Just like the relationships and the things that you have done continuously to everybody else, it's going to die back down and it's not going to grow back up healthy. Once it dies down and it's over and your 10 minutes of fame is up, Lieonya, it's over. It's no coming back from that. You have done nothing. Nothing since then to say you've done a great job to be proud of, to honor yourself about, to be an influencer, to inspire other women, to be inspirational. What have you done for all these people to be on your page saying that they're so proud of you, you're doing this, you're doing that? Everyone fails to realize you are still a married woman and they're telling you live your best life. Live your best life when you're divorced. Live your best life at your expense, not your kids, not your young kids that need their mother. A mother of 4 should never be living her best life without her kids. A mother of 4 should not be out of town all the time, taking as many vacations as you do. And then you want to act like allegedly Mr. Robert was holding you back from doing things that you wanted to do. If we be honest with ourselves and keep it real, you want to do meet and greet. Mr. Robert was trying to have you be a wife. He was trying to let you know you're past that stage, Brianna. You're above that now. You don't have to do meet and greets. You're making good money. You don't have to be seen in person. Why mess up the family image that we already started? You don't have to do this extra stuff. You can work from home. You can do photo shoots, family ops, skits. You don't have to do that extra stuff. You're past that now, honey. Live. Fall back. But no. Allegedly, that Tatiana was boiling up inside. Once you got all those things fixed that you were insecure about, allegedly, you got your veneers done, your boobs done, your body, everything that you once hated. You started feeling yourself. Of course, you want to do meet and greets. Of course, you want to do club promotions. Of course, you want to do all these things. Everything that a mother and a wife shouldn't do, regardless of your age, you wanted to do those because you still want to live your best life and you knew you could not do that while you were married. No, your husband wasn't controlling. Your husband was trying to guide you and lead you in the right direction. The man is the head of the house. That's what you failed to realize. You weren't the man. You wanted to wear the shoes. And once you started bringing in that income more than him, which he's the reason you were bringing that income in. And allegedly, you're probably the reason behind him not bringing in the income that he once was. You used that against that man. You constantly threw up in his face how much money you made, this and that. And then everybody can say, leave Miss Lieonya alone, give her a break. Who's giving Mr. Robert a break? Who's giving these kids a break? I don't care what anyone else says and feels. I'm going to speak my mind and how I feel every day, all day. As long as there's content to put out, as long as these kids are going to continue to go without their mother, not be able to see their stepfather, who's had an impact on their life for a very long time, I'm going to continue to advocate for the kids. And if it just so happened to be on the topic of them, I'm going to speak that as well. Because that's a part of the kids in their life as well, too. So I'm not going to just glaze over that like it's not an issue. But anyhow, like I stated, it broke my heart that they can't have that relationship with him. Because you're so evil. You will not allow that. So now, if we fast forward, today, you were at a Blossom conference, something like that. It was supposed to be inspirational women motivating the next generation. Boy, oh boy. I'll just say this. Everything I state is allegedly. It's not a proven fact. And I'm not going to talk about how the other woman was dressed because this content is solely on Being Lieonya. This has nothing to do with her. So I'm going to stick to the topic. What you had on was not a bad looking outfit. However, it was not appropriate for that scene. Whoever your stylist is, whoever allows you to just be creative and come up with these ideas, they need to be fired. Or you need to check with someone first. Instead of having your yes men, who are your friends, agree with you about everything. You need that one friend that's going to be honest with you and tell you, nah, Bree, that ain't going to work out. That's not good. This is more on the professional side. This is more on the gospel side. These people are speaking about God. You can hear in the background when you are sitting down, instead of you allowing yourself to think, take in what that person is speaking on. Let that inspire you, resonate with you, so maybe your speech can be close to that. It can be something of God. It can be inspirational. You were fixing on your hair, being very rude, talking to someone else, asking questions. When someone invites you to listen to them speak, they invite you to be a part of something important like that. Miss Lieonya, you might have not been taught that. But you don't keep on speaking while this person is speaking. I don't care if you're backstage. Respect them enough to be quiet and listen to what they have to say. Just like you would like them to respect and listen to what you have to say. And they did, because they were on the stage when it was your time to speak. That was very rude of you. And the crazy part is that message seemed like it was directly for you. Everything she stated about allowing love to be real and, allowing a man to be good to you and so on. Everything was for you, it seemed like, and you missed it. Or better yet, maybe you tried to miss it, because every now and then you'll say, oh yeah, amen, like you was paying attention. But you showing off your hair, you're asking should you keep it down or wear it up. Like, come on, Miss Lieonya. You are too old to act and do the things you do. You had on this short, one-piece, hot pink jumper. Like, pink's my favorite color, baby. But it's time for you to grow out of that, woman up, pass that color to one of your daughters. Or better yet, you can still love it. But switch it up sometime. You a grown woman. You're not a walking Barbie, my size Barbie. Learn how to dress professional in certain settings. You have tattoos that are revealing. I have revealing tattoos as well. I'm not going to go speak to a young generation and try to inspire them and motivate them and talk about my accomplishments and come out there dressed like that. I will not do that. And neither should you. You have to know when it's a time and when it's a time not to wear those type of things. The thing you had on in the beginning of your show premiere, that jumpsuit, that was nice. That would have been something you should have wore for this event. Especially being around church people, cover up, be respectful. But no, just like you always, you don't know how to cover up. You don't know how to do anything without not being half naked. That's just you. That's who you are. You don't know how to save something for the wandering eye. You don't know how to leave something for the imagination. That's not you. So you get up there and you didn't thank God. You spoke on rest in peace to your mom. May she dearly rest in peace. But you spoke on her. And then you spoke on your accomplishments and how much it motivated you to accomplish these things while your mother was still alive. You accomplished your associates, your bachelor's, and your master's. You said that. I couldn't believe that came out of your mouth. Just like you showed those tax receipts of robbers, please show us those degree plaques. Let us see them. Please show us a cap and gown where you graduated or something. We want to see. We want to see these degrees that you mysteriously, magically have in your mind. Let us see those degrees. Because guess what, Lieonya? You're going to need those. I give you 2 years at the most. 2 years at the most. Your karma is coming for you. Nobody is going to invite you to speak anywhere because you're not motivational anymore. You're not inspiring anyone. You don't want to play by the rules. Every other day, you're going off online. You just haven't found anyone yet now. It was your husband for quite some time. We'll see who's going to be the victim next. Allegedly, probably Mr. Ed. He's coming soon. He's going to be the next victim. No one is going to invite you to do these kind of things because you don't know how to respect the rules. You don't know how to be a lady. And everything I'm saying is raw, but it's something you need to hear. When you go to certain settings, you dress appropriate. You dress a certain way. You can't just wear whatever you want to wear to the club or to the barbecue as something so serious as that. You're telling people how to be professional, but yet you're dressed unprofessional. And then you didn't cross your legs. You didn't have them wide open, but you're supposed to cross your legs as a woman. And if you have on a dress, you can cross the bottom of your legs. But your legs should be closed. It's the little things, Miss Lieonya, that you don't know that comes with being a woman. But most importantly, it's the major things that should come natural for you when being a mother. Everything I am saying, it could hurt you or it could benefit you. But you need to hear it. I don't care what the beehive say, how they feel, or what their opinion's going to be. At the end of the day, I'm saying nothing but the truth. I'm saying what everyone's thinking. They just don't have the heart to say it. I'm saying what my viewers are thinking. They do have the heart to say it. They've been saying it. But no one's listening, or when they do state their opinion, here come you guys in the comment section having something to say. This is my channel. They can say whatever they please on here. The difference between, though, me and Lieonya, you're free to come over here and have your own opinion, but don't disrespect my panel and my people and call anyone out of their names. Everyone over here is free to voice their own opinion, but do not attack my people or come for them. They have every right to say how they feel, just like you guys think you have every right when you feel as though you want to go on Mr. LaTruth page. You're bored out of your mind. Say something to him When he's eating a meal, oh, he misses Brianna. What does that have to do with the man eating? He got to eat. He can't starve to death. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we have Mr. LaTruth on live today, smiling, glowing, happy. Seems like he's been getting quite some rest. He seems pretty peaceful. It seems like he's finding that good place. Today he was online and the skit was funny. It was a girl trying to talk to him. It was like he was leaving the line open for people to call in, and the girl was pretty funny. So that one was pretty funny. I would like him to do more skits like that. It made me laugh. And it made me feel good to see he's getting back to that happy place. He knows how to be in character, and he knows how to brush stuff off like he have on shoulder pads. Just keep on moving and go with the flow. Those are some strong people. That is a strong family. And the crazy thing is, at one point in time, Miss Lieonya, you tried to divide that family. But what you fail to realize, that family has been through the storm together. Nothing will separate them. No lies. Even if your husband was sharing something personal with you about one of his siblings, he didn't mean no harm. You know that. At the end of the day, he was having a discussion with his wife. And what did his wife do? Use his words against him, flip it around and make it seem bad. Even in the video, when you claim you're making $30,000, $40,000, why are you worried about whether or not his sister say he bought a house for her? So what? If he has it like that, why would he not do that for his sister? On one of your videos, you allegedly claimed that you were buying your sister a car. You were supposed to be buying her car that she was ungrateful about. But he can't buy his sister, who has kids, a home if he could afford to. You always been worried about the wrong things. You always want someone to obsess over you and be in control about you because you're out of control. You think everything has to be about you. You have to dictate everything. And that's unfortunate for you, Lieonya, because you will always miss the big picture. You will never be happy within because you're searching without. You're searching the rim. Everything on the outside to try to make the inside whole. When it starts on the inside first. It starts with you being able to detach yourself away from social media for a while. Take your family out of the spotlight. All you had to do was say, show come on tonight. God bless, take care. While your shows are on, it's not like you're really making money right now. Disappear for a while. Focus on your kids. Do something with them. Pray. Go to church. Pray genuinely. Don't go to church like it's a fashion show. Go to church like you mean it. Cry at the altar. Ask God to come into your life. You need God more than anything right now. At the end of the day, you are slowly falling apart, and you may not realize that right now. You may want to say everyone is being a hater towards you. But if you're real with yourself, Lieonya, everybody's not saying all these things for a reason. Nobody wants what you have. You had a marriage. You had a husband that loved and poured himself into you, gave you all of him, just about. Some of the flaws, some of the little problems, you could have possibly went to therapy and worked it out. Maybe he did have issues based off of his mom. He didn't know how to show that nurturing side enough to you. But from what we saw, he was a great gift giver. He sung to you. What more affectionate did you need than that? Men are not always going to put themselves in a vulnerable state with a woman. They play that tough role. Especially because women like you come along and bruise their ego. Why would they put themselves in a vulnerable state? You don't talk to me. You don't open up to me. You don't express how you feel. When the second they do, The second they put their guard down, they share something with you that's used against them. That's why we have a lot of men out here that are running around emotionless. It's because at one point in time, their mother destroyed their ego, told them a man don't supposed to cry, shut up, toughen up. And then the woman they're with, who they look for in a partner, is just like their mother. Instead of them looking the opposite way, they went and found their mom. So now they have another person in their life that's victimizing them just like their mother. That's all they know. That's all they're used to. So they think that's right and that's okay. That's why it was important for your kids to have that relationship with Mr. LaTruth. But it's unfortunate that they won't. So anyhow, he's online living his best life, skin looking good. He looks happy. It was great to see him enjoying himself. And it was genuinely enjoying himself and laughing. We saw that. So that was good for him today. Meanwhile, back on the ranch, probably in New York, allegedly, we see Mr. Ed, better known as Wu-Tang, take a selfie. Let's just say he's kind of questionable with his character. And that's okay. It is what it is. Just come out. Don't judge no one. But however, you take a selfie like I would take one. A woman would take one. Where are you getting these poses from? You just hold a camera with a dead face. Only God can deter my direction. Or something you say like that. With a boring shirt on. Which you were looking like to me like your sugar mama canceled your credit card and you couldn't buy you any Chinese. So you stressed out right now and you taking this selfie to show that you're miserable. That's what it looked like. And so that picture didn't work with the ugly shirt you had on. Like, nobody wears ugly shirts anymore. I don't know if you call this creative, but I don't know where this man gets this style from. And I don't even know if that's a new phone. I know someone brought it to my attention, and I thought I spoke on it briefly. But even in the video, I Hate You More, we saw her trying to get this man phone. I'm going to say allegedly, because we don't know for sure, and he never went into full details about it. But I guarantee you, she's broke so many of this man's phone. I guarantee you she's broke so many of Mr. LaTruth's phones. I know she has, the type of person she is. She probably threw it up against the wall, threw it in water, tried to fight him for it, got upset, just like history repeats itself, what happened with her and Mr. Wu-Tang, allegedly. That's who she is, a jealous, insecure person. And when she gets upset and get enraged, she wanted to put her hands on Mr. Wu-Tang, but he's young. He probably will hit you back, and she knows that. She don't know how far to push it just yet. She know Mr. Robert would just walk away or pin her down or try to defend himself, which is block her off. Anyhow, his phone was supposed to got broken. You're too early on in a relationship. You look for the opposite. If someone has to get you out of character and you have to continuously prove yourself to them, fuss with them, check their phones all the time, check their emails, you need to evaluate and assess that relationship. I refuse to be in a relationship where I'm sitting down with you and your phone rings and I have to look and be all in your phone or question who you're talking to when you step outside the room. I should be able to trust that we're in this together. And by that, I mean we're building something towards the future. I'm too old to have one-night stands and flings. And you should feel that way too, Miss Lieonya, while you constantly throwing up in your face you 30. You have 4 kids, so you might as well consider yourself 45, sweetheart. You being 30 in the dating market, that doesn't change anything for anyone else. You're still a parent of 4. So you need to move and conduct yourself in that manner. Nobody's going to say, oh, well, she's 30, she's still young, this and that. No. How many kids? 4. That right there is what people grade you on. Okay? And then they can Google your marriage and what happened and how you handled that situation. But anyhow, back to the subject at hand. Mr. Wu-Tang standing in the mirror sad, subliminally sending you messages since you canceled his card. He's hungry, he couldn't get his Chinese, so he could eat like Mr. Ed on the camera. I don't know why you find that so attractive, but everything about your ex repulsed you, made you gross, made you sick to your stomach. But you can sit around this man and eat, and his lip hang out half of the time after you kiss him. Nothing sexy or appealing about him. But you trying in every way and manner to push that off on us. Sis, we don't see it. We don't see it, boo. We don't see how you see it. So we really don't see it. We can't try to see it. It's just not there. He's not sexy. He had on the tightest pants in the world at your premiere. You could feel his heartbeat through his pants. And his heart not down there. You saw the print of his phone. What is sexy about that? His shirts never go with his pants. And his mouth stays open even when food isn't in there. Nothing is sexy about your Wu-Tang, sweetheart. Nobody wants him. Nobody's checking for him. Anyhow, so he take that picture. I guess you didn't catch the hint, or that didn't mean anything to you because you're still upset allegedly about the phone situation. So then he posts a picture of you, Miss Married Woman. Mr. I want to come to her page because she has something to say about Lieonya. Leave her alone. Lieonya is on the back of her best friend with a bathing suit on, smiling, on vacation, living her best life while her kids are at home with God knows who. And God knows what's going on at that moment. And by that, I don't mean anything bad. I mean, she just don't know what her kid's doing. And she's a parent. She's on vacation, living it up to the fullest. And not even thinking about what's going on at home. That's not who she is. He posts that picture. And then he posts a little 10-second clip of you guys on the beach having a little romantic dinner, and you smile and sparkles in your eyes as if he paid for the meal like you didn't pay for it. You act like a love-struck puppy. It's sad, and it makes even more you look pathetic as a mother. You've had 4 kids. There's no way, Miss Lieonya, you should move how you move. When you become a parent, that's the first job. That's the first commitment. That's the first out of anything in life you have to commit to, and you have to stick to it. I don't see sparkles in your eyes when you're talking to your kids, when you're interacting with them, when you're hugging them. I feel like it's another job you do, and then you push them off. But when you're around Mr. Wu-Tang, all the sparks, all the butterflies, you guys are doing the skit, you looking up at him so happy and in love, and he not even looking at you. He's so focused on the skit. And you guys have on matching coats. You have tried too hard to make this man something that he's not. And in the end, you're the only one going to be hurt. As long as you continue on this train. Because nobody's on here anymore. You're the only one on this train. And the sad part is, your kids are the passengers. They don't have a choice but to be on this train with you. They can't get off the train and say, hey, I like it better. Can I go stay at Mr. LaTruth house for the summer? Which is they stepdad, whatever they call him. They can't do that. They don't have that option. You took that option from them. So now they have to sit at home, endure, and take whatever it is that you're doing as their mother. They have to deal with that because you're their mother. You have sole custody of them. And that's the sad, unfortunate part for them. Not to mention you have 2 daughters that are looking to you. And your oldest daughter never seems so happy. She seemed kind of sad and withdrawn. As a mother, I see that. I just hope you pick up on these things. You allow yourself to be single and build a real bond and connection with your kids over the summer. Because kids remember everything. And one day, Lieonya, you're going to need these kids more than they need you now. And you better pray that they don't turn their back on you. And they forgive you for all the times you left them and turned your back on them. I am Ashley D. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope this resonated with the people that it needed to. I will be talking to each and every one of you soon, and I'll be getting back in the comment section as well tomorrow and responding. Thanks so much for allowing me your time. Have a great day. Bye.